Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Tuesday afternoon in Oklahoma State has officially parted ways with head coach Mike Gundy. And I think the more interesting conversation, the conversation that I want to get into a little bit more is who are the best candidates for Oklahoma State to go pick up the phone and call. With regards to Mike Gundy getting fired, two things can be true, right? Number one, Mike Gundy's the best head coach that this Oklahoma State program has seen. That's not even close. Like the numbers just bear that out. But at the same time, clearly not going in the right direction. College football has changed a lot over the last 5 years. NIL, rev share, transfer portal. It became very clear early on that Mike Gundy was not embracing those changes. And I think Oklahoma State gave him some time to embrace those changes that clearly wasn't happening. And once it became clear that Mike Gundy wasn't really going to thrive in this landscape of college football, this is the right move. With all due respect to Mike Gundy and what he's done with this program, and I know damn well the Oklahoma State fans who are listening to this appreciate what Mike Gundy has brought this program, but it's time to move on and find a coach that can embrace the new landscape of college football and get Oklahoma State back to where they belong. Now, who are those coaching candidates? That's what I want to get into before we do. And as always, to the Oklahoma State fans, we're going to talk about this a lot. Would love to hear some early names that you think are the most intriguing for Oklahoma State. Appreciate you guys. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now, look, it's really fun to just start throwing out names, and we about to do that over the next couple of minutes. Want to start with this because this is a more important conversation. What are we looking for with the new head coaching candidates that we are going to talk about, and with the new names that are going to get thrown around over the next couple of weeks and months? What are the boxes that we're looking for these candidates to check? I think number one, a proven track record in terms of navigating NIL, rev share, and the transfer portal. Like, can we find a coach that has shown the ability to succeed in this landscape of college football? To me, that's number one. Number two, having a coach that has shown they can do more with less. And I think this is a conversation that Oklahoma State has to have internally first is, hey, how much are we prepared to invest into this program? How much are we prepared to give resources that at Oklahoma State back to where they belong? That probably dictates the coach that you want to go out and hire. I think energetic and charismatic is another box that I would like to see checked, because you look at this landscape of college football and look, knowing the X's and O's and knowing how to develop players, that's going to be important. That's always going to be important, right? If you want to be a good head coach, you got to know the sport. You got to know how to develop players. In this new landscape, it's not the only job of being a head coach. I mean, you talk about energetic, charismatic coaches that can go to boosters, that can go to donors and get good donors and get them to reach their hands into their pockets and give this program some money. That matters. I mean, you go out and get a head coach that is boring, is not all that charismatic, does not inject some energy and optimism into this program. It's going to be hard to raise the capital and raise the money you want and you need to succeed at this level of college football. And then lastly, and this is something that I just personally think might be important, offensive prowess. And why do I say, hey, an offensive minded coach that can come in and immediately start scoring points? The reason I say that is this Oklahoma State team, they need some momentum. I think the next head coach that you want to hire, you want to see if you can get a guy that can come in and win early. And the coaches that can do that are the coaches that know how to put points up on the board, that can come and get a good quarterback in the portal, that can recruit some offensive talent to this program and immediately start scoring points. Does that mean you're going to go 10-2 in 2026? No, probably not. But it means you might win some more games and inject some more energy and get some momentum with this program a little bit more. That's something that I personally think could be important for this hire. Getting into the names, I think there's one that's bona fide the best candidate on the board. And maybe the last box I should have said checked is like the geographical connection to where Oklahoma State likes to get talent, right? Oklahoma State's going to recruit the heck out of the state of Texas. We know that. When Oklahoma State's buzzing, They get a lot of guys from the state of Texas to come up to Stillwater, not only at the high school ranks, but also in the transfer portal as well. Players from the state of Texas, they'll go national in terms of where they want to commit to their next school. But when they want to hit the portal, maybe they want to come back a little bit closer to home. Having a head coach that knows and has connections in the state not only helps them recruiting the high school talent to Oklahoma State, but it also lets you get some talent in the transfer portal as well. I think the geographic location, that might matter as well. Who checks all those boxes? GJ Kinne. I think it's at what he's done at Texas State's been amazing. You talk about a coach that has shown that he can manage NIL in the transfer portal at a high level. It starts with what he's doing at Texas State. Go look at how he's used the portal. Go look at how he's acquired a lot of talent at Texas State and has won a lot of football games with not a ton of resources. He comes to Oklahoma State. Talent in Texas is going to follow. He obviously can call an offense and score some points and start winning some games. And I think he's a really charismatic young coach that's going to inject a lot of buzz into this program. He's the only coach, in my opinion, that checks every single box that you're looking for. Now, another popular name is Zach Robinson. Obviously, Oklahoma State ties. I know he's a very popular name amongst the booster base. That certainly matters. I hate to say it, but I think it matters. Getting a coach that the boosters want in, and so they're willing to give a little bit more funds to this program, I think certainly is a talking point that you have to have. My only reservation with Zach Robinson is zero experience managing transfer portal, managing evaluations, managing NIL. Really good football coach. That seemingly to me is important. When you're going to take over Oklahoma State, it's not only calling an offense, it's not only about the X's and O's. You have to be able to evaluate the portal, get talent into the program. I'm not saying Zach Robinson can't do that. All I'm saying is we have not seen him do that because he has not coached at the college ranks. I think Colin Klein would make a little bit of sense too. Now, what you love about Colin Klein is that he can call an offense. But what he's doing with Texas A&M and what he's doing with Marcel Reed and how he's evaluated some really good wide receivers to inject into this program, that matters. Has very, very good experience recruiting this area of the country as well. I think Colin Klein is very similar to GJ Kinne. All I think is GJ Kinne has actual experience running a program and managing a little bit more at the NIL resources and using the portal. The last two, Will Stein, Ben Arbuckle, very similar conversations. Two young offensive wizard play callers that can come in. And look, you go out and hire Ben Arbuckle. You go out and hire a guy like Will Stein, and I promise you, offensive talent's going to come. You want to go play for those offensive play callers because you're going to be scoring a lot of points and putting a lot of yards up, right? Not having the head coaching experience, that's really the only knock on both of them. We'll see where Oklahoma State decides to go. And look, there are some other candidates out there. How about like a Dave Clawson? I mean, you talk about a coach that has shown he can do more with less. What he's done at Wake Forest, or what he did at Wake Forest, obviously before stepping down, really, really impressive. I don't know if there's a coach that's done more with less in the country than Dave Clawson. That one could make sense too. Charismatic energy, I think, matters. I don't know if Dave Clawson has that. I think some of the candidates we just talked about certainly do. We'll see where Oklahoma State decides to go. Would love to hear from the Oklahoma State fans in the comment section as well. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.